What has Excelsior's domain been picking up from eBay? Let's have a look. Now, there is an ulterior motive for this particular eBay pickup, and I haven't looked at everything that came in the rather large box I got sent yet. But this was a job lot that I picked up for a very reasonable sum, and the reason I picked up a job lot was because I was after one particular Beast Wars Transformer from back in the sort of late 90s, and I could not find him separately. But lo and behold, I spied the right version of him in this job lot. So I thought, okay, well, I'm kind of curious anyway, because this would have been at a time when, obviously, I'd gone through my, well, I say obviously, it might not be obvious to you, but it's obvious to me. I'd gone through my first phase of toy collecting when I was little, and I was now in my sort of mid-20s. So I obviously, I've moved on a little bit, honest. And I noticed, I think it was probably in a Tesco of all places, I'd seen a video which clearly said sort of Transformers on it. And I thought, that's weird. I remember them. I used to have quite a few of those when I was younger. But this was Transformers Beast Wars, and this was the CGI show, which was long before, they started doing about, putting the beasts into a movie, for example, which of course they have done more recently. Now this guy here is Megatron, but he is Megatron, get this right, from the far future, well after G1 Megatron, but he has taken homage to Megatron in both his form, because as you can probably see here, his head is very, very similar to G1 Megatron's head. And obviously, for those of us of a certain age, we are intended to sort of respond favourably to that fact. But he doesn't transform into a gun or a tank. No, he transforms into a T-Rex, which for someone of my age is confusing, because that should be a Grimlock thing to do. But no, in this particular version of Transformers, this is a Megatron thing to do. And he kind of shot out of this rather nice Tyrannosaurus-y hand that he's got here. I don't think he actually had a hand on this arm at all. It's just this sort of Tyrannosaurus head here, and he shot sort of energy blasts out of there. So, if you're unfamiliar, Transformers Beast Wars was, as I say, this sort of second coming of Transformers. Well, there was a second generation, of course, but these guys were an offshoot. They were Predacons and Maximals. So Megatron was a Predacon, and there was an Optimus Maximal. I might have got his name wrong there actually. What was his proper name? But he had Optimus in it anyway. So again, he had sort of, his head looked a little bit like Optimus Prime's. So you got the gist of who was supposed to be who in old school language, and everyone else kind of, they either had new names. Well, it's not all of them were that new actually, but a lot of them had old names who you would associate with different characters if you were of the generation that grew up with G1. If you weren't, that meant nothing to you, and they were just the names of these characters. And they transformed into animals. And they had to do that to protect themselves from the energon radiation that often surged on this planet that they found themselves after both teams, well, the Predacons escaped from Cybertron, and they were considered renegades by all concerned, even though there was a peace. And they were pursued by a Maximal, I think it was a prison ship or something. And anyway, both ships did not do well in the landing, and various stasis pods were released at various times, which brought new characters into the fray on this unknown planet, which did not stay unknown forever, but there are spoilers there, which I will not go into. But I was quite surprised. The figures that I could see on eBay were deluxe figures, and I didn't want deluxe, I just wanted plain and simple. I'm not sure which flavour of Megatron this is, but I suspect it might be deluxe, because he seems pretty chunky compared to the ones that I remember. I'm not even going to try and transform him, but you can see he's got a tail there on on this other arm. You can see his toes are basically dinosaur toes, so you know it doesn't take a lot of imagination to imagine how he's going to transform. But nice big heavy sort of figure, probably not completely complete, but I wasn't really getting them for that purpose. I was getting them, as I say, for a secondary purpose, which I will reveal in due course, but not right now. Now I've got a little bag here of other things. Now I have to say, I only had maybe one of these when they came out, but I did really enjoy the series. I thought that the twist was brilliant, very, very clever, well executed, well hidden from us until relatively late, and it was one that I sort of appreciated. And what the heck have they done to this guy, and who is he? I do not recognise that character at all. I know he appears to be in several pieces, but I really don't recognise him. That's weird. I'm guessing he's going to be some sort of iguanatron, judging by that particular headpiece. But I honestly couldn't tell you what his... Now, I do know there were more toys than there were characters in the CGI show. This might well be one of those occasions. That appears to be... I can't even tell you if that's his weapon or not. I've got no idea on that one, I'm afraid. So he might have all those pieces. I don't know. I don't think those are even his. Those look more like... Those look like one of the spider Predacons, possibly. That seems to be all that's in there. Oh no, I've got some... Oh, actually... Oh, wait. Oh, this is Beast Machine... so I've got Beast Wars Maximal Cheetor then. There. That's an instructions one for him. And I seem to have Beast Machines... Is it Che? Now, Beast Machines came after the Beast Wars series, but was linked to it, and it was a sort of follow-on series. Now, as I say, I'm not that familiar with the whole Beast Wars saga, but it was a saga, and Netflix have resurrected them recently, of course. I might be able to fix him, I don't know. I feel like he might be missing more than I know. But they have brought them back, so they are sort of canon again, and obviously the film has come out as well, so they're very much of the moment, because I think they're searching for more ways in which they can monetize the franchise, and Beast Wars are there for the taking. Now, this guy, ironically enough, is actually called Dinobot. He's not one of my Dinobots, but he is Dinobot. Now, as I recall, he was a bit of a turncoat. He was both Predacon and Maximal at various points. But he had a very strict code of honour. Again, I'm not going to try and transform him, but I wonder what nature of sort of grading he was, whether or not he was deluxe or just sort of standard. Not sure. Quite like the way he's been painted though. It looks like he's come out of Jurassic Park. I mean, fair dues to them. That's a really good sculpt of a dinosaur. But I imagine shall I try and transform him? Let's try and transform him. Actually, no, sorry. It's not transform, it's maximize or terrorize, depending on which team you're on. Yes. It's funny how these things stick with you, isn't it? I had to prevent myself from using the wrong term there. It's a strange thing. Let's have a look. Can I even figure out... If he's been glued in place, I shall be upset. Well, I won't be that upset, but... whoops. Nearly. I can see where the... there you go. I can see where the seam is. I just can't figure out how to do it without causing damage. Okay, they look like feet to me. I will proceed on the basis that they are feet, but not... there we go. You see, it's coming back to me. Not that I had him, but... Actually, no, perhaps this isn't Dinobot. No, I may have told a big fat fib there. I'm not entirely sure this is Dinobot at all. That is weird. How are you supposed to get from that point to that point? So I found his head, but I've no idea what... Oh no, that looks like it's going to split in half, actually, his tail. If I can do it, there we go, okay. But I don't think this is actually the Dinobot character. So this must be another another dinosaur derivative guy, but not apparently Dinobot himself. I don't want to push that any further. Oops. Oh, hang on. Yeah. Okay. He's sort of getting taller, but maybe I don't want him to get taller. Do I want him to get shorter? I don't know. There's definitely stuff afoot there, but I'm not sure what he's supposed to end up looking like. So I don't know. Probably nothing like that, but that's kind of as far as I've got. So yeah, I won't waste any more time on that because clearly I'm going to get it horribly wrong. But there is probably a transformer trying to get out of that mess in there. Yeah. So I don't think that was Dinobot. I'm pretty sure that was not in fact Dinobot. Big old box of stuff. Ah, that's interesting. Ah, right. So I think I've got some of this guy's limbs. Now I'm I don't know. I'm not actually sure who this is. Because he's got way more. He's rather nice. This has got to be a deluxe figure. This one, surely. Just look at this. He's very gold. His wings are really sort of intricate on the back here. That's really quite impressive. But I've got no idea. I'm guessing he could be Waspinator. And yet it looks like he's got a jet out mode. Is this a Beast Machines character? Is this a Beast Machines Waspinator, I wonder? Because that's definitely not an insectoid head. That's a cockpit. That's weird. So I've got no idea what's going on with this guy at all. I've got no idea who he is. For sure. As I say, answers on a postcard if you know better than I do. Ah, those are his arms there coming out. So he's definitely got a sort of a robot form. But again, it might be one of those ones where it's not one of the ones from the cartoon, so I can't name him. Because I don't think he's in. What on earth is that little face? What is that little face all about there? You see that? Oh no. Yeah, there. That's weird. I don't even know what his face is all about there, so I've no idea who this is. Not very helpful to you, the viewer. I do apologise, but this is the nature of this random unboxing. It is literally that random because I haven't paid that much attention to what I was actually getting because there was only one thing in there I was actually aiming for. But yeah, interesting. Very sort of very sort of golden shiny kind of guy. I just don't know. I don't know quite how he's supposed to end up or who he is. But actually, I don't think that is Waspinator. He's not the right colours to be a wasp for starters, so probably not that. Which is fine. Good lord, it just keeps coming. I feel like there's more in here than I thought there was going to be. Now this guy I do know. Yes. Yeah, these are more beast machines. These are far more Beast Machines than Beast Wars, actually, to my surprise. And I bet these are fairly deluxe. I can't believe I got this for what I got it for. I mean, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you know whether or not Beast Wars are actually sort of sought after. But this is Rat Trap, I would imagine. It's got to be Rat Trap. Because I seem to remember that when he got turned into a sort of a beast machine, he probably would have gotten wheels. So he's a sort of strange kind of hybrid there. Looks like his head moves when his tail moves. That's cool. That's clever. Okay. What a weird mashup, isn't it? Because he's still got feet as well, which is bizarre. Or paws, perhaps. Perhaps those are his more sort of front paws, and it looks like he's got his chest plate underneath there. That's quite cool, though. I rather like that as a concept. They obviously put a bit, quite a lot of sort of detail and an extra sort of play value into the Beast Machine sort of side of it, because that's quite big. That's quite a big figure as well. This is really interesting. It's a real mashup of whoever this guy was. Obviously had obviously he's followed it through. Had both Beast Wars Transformers and Beast Machines. Is this the last one? Oh no, not quite. No. Last but not least. Okay. look, that's actually the one there. I was getting slightly worried there because I thought perhaps I didn't have the one that I was actually after. Now this again, it looks very much. That looks very much like a Beast Machines Cheetor to me, because wasn't that what I had I had instructions for Chi or something, didn't I? But this appears to be. It's good articulation. It looks like he's got a. Looks like there's a sort of compartment in his chest, so it looks like he's not quite fully transformed like that. But again, I like the fact that he can clearly sort of stand up very effectively. And of course, the funny thing about these guys is, you know, they are not your sort of traditional Transformers, in the sense that this is an alt mode. Well, sorry, this isn't the alt mode. His robot form is more organic than you would expect, because this was the idea behind Beast Machines, is that they are this sort of more of a sort of a hybrid take on things. So that's cool. I mean, I like the styling of it. I suspect the toys probably looked a little bit better than the CGI did, to be fair, because I think they were very much pushing the edge of what the CGI could do at that point in time. So the toys may well have come out slightly ahead of the CGI look. But he's got a nice sort of big scythe of kind of blade coming out the back of his elbow there. That's quite nasty. Nice, cool. Okay, interesting. Who else have we got? Well, I think the last one is the one I was actually hoping to get, because this is the guy I could not find in a normal form, because I remember getting this guy. This is Waspinator, and both Gareth and I pronounce it like that because we remember what his voice was like in the cartoon, well, in the CGI series, you know. Now, I probably can't remember how to transform him. I'm hoping he's all here. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. His wings are actually his. Oh, no, I'm getting there. Sorry, I should put this on screen. His wings are actually his legs. But this version, I remember getting from that supermarket I mentioned, and this was sort of just a sort of teeny tiny little version of him on a card. So it wasn't a boxed version. It was just a card. So I think those are his arms there, and then his sort of abdomen bit comes down, and then he's got his head there, and that I think is Waspinator. And he was quite entertaining, because he used to get blown to pieces every single episode, and yet somehow managed to drag himself together enough to be able to get back and get himself fixed up properly. But it was a running gag, basically, that the Waspinator would always end up in pieces by the end of any given episode. So yeah, I have actually managed to transform this guy into his robot mode, remarkably, if he would then stand up, of course. And he had this, as you can see, this wacky sort of bizarre kind of stinger thing going on the end of one arm, which is literally a spring. It's literally a spring, and that would be his tail when he was in his wasp mode. I've no idea why I picked him over anyone else to buy. I just did. Just one of those things. I guess maybe he was. There weren't that many available, so he was the one I ended up with. I honestly couldn't tell you for sure. But he was great comedy value in the series itself, so maybe that was why I went for him. But he was oddly difficult to find, and I can only assume it's because the smaller carded ones, for some reason, they just haven't survived as well, or maybe they just weren't that popular. I don't know. I honestly don't know much about the popularity of Beast Wars as a concept. Obviously they brought it back because it's their IP, it's part of the Transformers overall universe. I know that they did comics based on it as well, and did crossovers and so on, and I really think the Netflix series did a really nice job of recharacterising them all as well. And the actual Beast Wars original cartoon was scripted by Simon Furman, so that is why it has a lot of callbacks over the course of it to G1 continuity, because of course, although he didn't do the cartoons, he did do the comics in the UK over that time, and his comic continuity arguably is considered, I don't know, is it controversial to say it's more canon than the US one? I mean, you do end up with a sort of curious blended mix from Marvel over the course of the comics continuity, but arguably Furman kind of holds the keys, you know? So yeah, this is just one of those little ones I wanted to pick up for a larger idea I have in mind, but I'll come back to that on another occasion when I'm more prepared for it. But that was the extent of that particular eBay pickup. Just a sort of, I had I really hadn't twigged that there were going to be Beast machines in there. I never owned them. I barely even remember seeing them in the shops because I literally just sort of got into Beast Wars, got a few videos to watch a few episodes to see what it was about because we were still just about pre-YouTube in those days. And then it just sort of I just sort of lost track of it all again basically. So this was basically me coming into a sort of a slight second childhood, if you like, before I then sort of stepped back away again. So yeah, it was fun to pick him up and just sort of have a transformer in the hand again back in the day. But let me know if you sort of revisited any of yours sort of along the way before things got really serious for people of a certain age in terms of obviously sort of the reissues that we see these days. Because it would be interesting to understand if that's a thing basically. So yes, I will leave you there with Waspinator. So do like and subscribe as ever, and I'll see you for the next one. Cheers for now.